We've all been there. Like you walk away from a conversation and you start thinking like, why did I do that? Like I should have said something. Or maybe for you, you were thinking like, I should have said this. I would have said that. Next time I'm gonna do this, right? Saida, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Somehow I should have done something differently. And in those moments when you just feel so defeated, you feel like someone was either taking advantage of a situation, or maybe you feel like someone was dismissing your opinion, and you said nothing, but you just freeze. What if I told you that standing up for yourself isn't about being aggressive or even confrontational? What if it's actually about finding your alignment? Today, I'm gonna share with you an exact framework that has helped me help hundreds of people be able to speak their mind without any fear. When you stay to the end, I'm gonna share with you the exact practical application on actually how to do this and give you an exact strategy of what to do every day for 5 days to build this muscle. So, how do you stand up for yourself and speak your mind without any paralyzing fear? Not just sometimes, not when it's just easy, but consistently. Well, here's the problem. Let's get real. What's actually happening in those moments when you feel uncomfortable, when you fail to stand up for yourself is, it's not that you don't know what to say. It's not even about courage. You know what the real issue is? The real problem is you don't think you have the ability to be with what other people's reactions or emotions, like what they're gonna say. Like think about that. Could that be true? That I don't think I can be with what people are going to say and how they're gonna react and their emotions? Yes. What you're actually afraid of is when you don't speak up. Like check in. Is it their disapproval? Is it that you're afraid of conflict? Is it that you're afraid of the fear of their rejection? Is it that you're afraid of them getting upset? What I discovered was profound. That when we don't stand up for ourselves, what we're actually trying to do is manage or control other people's emotions instead of honoring our own truth. So here's what most advice gets wrong. They tell you what to say, but not how to handle the discomfort that comes before and after you say it, right? Who's with me on this, right? Like, oh my gosh, how many times I used to do this, right? Like the build up to get into that conversation. I know sometimes it happens off guard, but sometimes you know it's coming. And then after you've been in that conversation, how much you berate yourself and beat yourself up and how long. That used to take me out for weeks. Today, we're fixing that. So here's the framework. Let's break it down into 5 parts, okay? And this is gonna help you transform how you stand up for yourself. Number 1, you wanna learn to observe, not absorb. I know this may sound so obvious, but it's really profound. What's really happening in those moments when you fail to stand up for yourself, it isn't actually logical. It's emotional. Right? Your emotions have taken over because unconsciously you don't think you actually are capable or have the ability to be with their reactions, their emotions, what they're gonna say. The key is for you to learn how to observe others, but not absorb whatever reactions or emotions they are having. This means that you're no longer going to try and control or manage them so they don't have these emotions, but instead, you're gonna get great at processing your own emotions while honoring your truths. So right now, declare to yourself, other people's emotions are not mine. Nope, not having it anymore. Other people's emotions are not mine. Yes. So when someone reacts negative to you, notice them having that reaction without any judgment. Like just look at it from neutrality, like, oh, look at what's happening over there. How interesting, right? Remind yourself that their emotions belong to them. Stay centered by choosing the emotional experience that you most want to feel right now. I just want to stay confident. I'm just going to stay centered. I'm just going to stay present to myself. Then maintain this feeling of neutrality, which is real power, not defensiveness. This skill is the foundation for you to know how to fearlessly stand up for yourself, because by learning to observe without absorbing, you become truly unstoppable. Number 2, embody your worth. Notice that when you're in your head, you're not actually embodying your worth. Have you noticed that? Like, it's like all this noise is happening. What you want to do is really ground. So standing up for yourself is actually about going all in on your being. Like, really feel the alignment of that mentally, emotionally, physically, and the actions you do, not just in your words. Meaning, if you hesitate, explain, rationalize, justify without knowing it, what you're actually doing is inviting for other people to give them your opinions and push back on what you're saying. Instead, when you speak from a place of unshakable self-worth, your truth lands differently. It resonates with certainty. This isn't about arrogance. This is about alignment. Meaning, when you're no longer divided inside, but rather you're in alignment, truly believing and honoring and respecting yourself, your entire presence oozes and communicates it. So what would that look like? So instead of being hunched over, like your shoulders like this, you would shift them up, back, and then down, such that you stand or sit with an open posture. You can then, inside of this, maintain comfortable eye contact, speak assertively with a steady pace, while allowing silence after you state something. Because in truth, silence may be the absence of words, but it is not the absence of communication. Insecurity is loud. Have you noticed that? But confidence is quiet. Number 3, know when speaking up actually matters, like when to do it. When do you really need to do that? Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every comment needs to be addressed. So the first step for you is to develop discernment. Like, really check in and ask yourself, is this really worth addressing? When someone makes an offhanded comment, ask, will this really impact my work or my reputation? Will this really, if I address this, will this really improve an outcome or result? Or will I regret not speaking up a week from now? If the answer is no to these, then let it go. As letting go isn't actually a weakness, but a core fundamental strength. Number 4, eliminate downplaying or over-explaining your responses. When we're uncomfortable with our own emotions, we downplay our responses. So what that means is we add a lot of verbal fluff or noise. We say things like, oh, I'm sorry, or, but maybe, if you thought, or if you think that if I could just do, well, I know this may sound silly, or maybe this is not the right time, but, can you feel that? So these phrases, when you go into filling space using noise, what happens without you realizing it is you're actually diminishing your self-worth. And therefore, what happens is your message lands like you're insecure. It lands flat, even before you started to deliver what you really wanted to say. So instead of saying all those fluff noise, words that just create noise, I'm sorry, but maybe, or, if you think, could you consider this? Instead, I want you to try this. Really speak and practice from clarity and direct sentences. For instance, I believe the approach I'm presenting will achieve better results, right? Very concise. Or for you, maybe for you, you're always finding yourself over-explaining everything. So you don't realize that you over-explain. So the key for you is you want to practice saying less, more certain. It's life-altering. It has people lean in more and really want to listen. In other words, when you eliminate downplaying your responses or over-explaining, you no longer apologize. You're no longer minimizing, and you're no longer justifying what you're saying. You end up just sharing straight truth, which brings me to number 5. You want to stop justifying your no. Your no doesn't actually require an explanation. It can really stand on its own. You see, what happens when you say no, and then you add the word because, well, then you go into justifying what it is about you're going to say. So what happens is, without you even realizing, you're actually inviting someone to debate with you or even argue. On the other hand, when someone pushes back and they may say, but why, or why not? What you want to do is maintain your alignment, really ground, and then acknowledge them, and then state your response with certainty. It's you being in alignment without being rude. Let me give you an example of this. Thank you for asking. It's not my focus right now. Or you can say, I really appreciate you asking, and I'm actually choosing to do something different right now. Notice that none of these responses invite an argument. They're statements not justifications. The key for you to remember is you don't actually owe people explanations for honoring your truth. You just want to feel what that feels like to just honor it. All right, now let's get into the practical application of this. Now, let me show you how this works in practice with 3 common scenarios. So scenario number 1, when someone interrupts you, the old way is you'd get frustrated or maybe lash out or stay silent, right? And try again later to interject. The new way is you find your alignment, feeling grounded, your feet planted solid on the ground, almost like as if you were an oak tree where, you have roots and they go all the way to the center of the earth. So you find your alignment and you calmly state, thanks for sharing. And I'd like to finish my thought about, and then you continue. Notice that inside of this, you don't actually go into explaining or making wrong or shaming the person, but inside of your alignment and your certainty and your calm state, by you doing this, you actually take back command, if you will, and own your power so that people want to listen to you, that they want to hear what you have to say. Okay? That's the way you do it. Notice, no apology, no justification, just acknowledge and then use a clear statement followed by an action. Scenario number 2, when you need to decline a request. The old way is, oh, I'm so sorry, I probably can't make it, but I will really try. I'll really try to get there. And then you go into it, because I have this thing that I'm doing and it's just really difficult right now with everything else I have going on. I used to do this, so I'm smiling. If you see me smiling, I'm smiling and laughing with you, not at you. The new way is, oh, I really appreciate the invite. I won't be able to make it, but please have fun. I'll be thinking of you, right? Be genuine. If that's something you would say, it's not to be fake or manipulative. If that's really how you feel, then say that. Acknowledge them for the invite and then really state, I won't be able to make it, but have fun. I'll be thinking about you. If they push back and ask, well, why or why not? You can just simply say, I've already committed to other priorities right now, but I so appreciate you thinking about me. Scenario number 3, when someone criticizes you unfairly, the old way is maybe to get defensive or shut down. So you either get defensive in explaining or silently are hurt. The new way, thank you for sharing your opinion or thoughts with me. I see them differently based on this data. And if they continue, you can say, well, I'm always open for constructive feedback. And based on this data, I really stand by my work. You see, what's happening in this situation is the key here is to understand that many people offer their opinions without even realizing, just because they want to feel important. And while there is absolutely no judgment for them wanting to feel that way, right? Yet they often have the wrong assumption or the wrong opinion because they haven't had any result in getting that, right? So we can't take opinions from people who don't have the results we most want because they'll be the wrong ones. But what we're doing instead, right, is the way that we're addressing them is we're not criticizing them. So the way to address someone who appears to criticize us unfairly is not to make it personal about you, but rather to stay in your alignment so that you observe and not absorb. Acknowledge them while offering them real data, real evidence of why this would really work based on the data so that you can help them see the wrong assumption. Because the truth is, opinions are not valid if they're not tracked, have no data to support them, and they're really just made up. Well, now, if you want to build an unshakable confidence in business and everyday life situations where it matters the most, then I have a little mini 5-day challenge for you. Here's what it is. On day 1, practice the observe, don't absorb technique in a conversation. Day 2, practice embodying 3 direct statements where you're owning your worth in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening. Day 3, ask yourself, before speaking up, is this worth my energy? Day 4, notice wherever you're downplaying your responses. Just become aware. Interrupt the pattern and then praise yourself. On day 5, practice saying no without any explanation. Just acknowledge and then state your response with certainty. All right, I want to hear about them. Comment below. What was your day 1 observation? What did you catch yourself absorbing and then stopped to observe? Celebrate, because standing up for yourself isn't actually about becoming confrontational. It's no longer about going in to try and manage or control other people's emotions and reactions. Instead, You want to get great at processing your own emotions, honoring your truths. And when you do this, you will find that there is nothing, and I do mean nothing, in business or life to be feared. Only blind spots to be cleared, emotions to be processed, and new skills to be developed. Because you, my friend, are operating from alignment. Those are the 5 keys to how to stand up for yourself and speak your mind without fear. But if you would like support on how to process your emotions and your fear using our proven step-by-step aligned intelligence method, then just click the link and I'll see you on the other side. Until then, speak your truth. The world needs your authentic voice.